Hello, and welcome to 10-7 Off Duty Podcast. Welcome back
Blah, blah, blah,
to...
blah.
Fuck off, Clyde. I'm Andrew Straley, EMTB,
Blah.
and with me is Clyde,
Clyde.
and Chan's back. Hi, Chan.
Yo.
Cheers, man.
Fuck off, Clyde.
Oh, it's been a long day, dude.
I'm about to
I can
throw
see it
this
in your
tourniquet
eyes.
right into your balls.
It's been one of those days where it's just like I'm mentally fried. I'm done for the day.
I have like four packs of Red Line if you really want to get freaky.
I'm not down with that. I couldn't do it.
Is Redline a drug?
No.
No,
It's-
it's made by... Bang Energy Drink was made by Red Line.
what? I didn't know that.
So, but it's like a smaller thing, but it has just as much
He
caffeine.
basically just said he wants me to die, but he wants me to make my own heart stop beating.
It'll be like Crank.
Yes. Yes, totally.
What's wrong? My heart is beating really fast, and I have a boner.
Yeah, so how's your guys' weeks been? Done anything fun, productive? Clyde's looking at me like, no, bitch.
Got a riding lawnmower to die on me in the middle of my yard.
Oh, no.
Let's be real honest. It's not really a lawnmower. It's a fucking,
A go-kart with blades at the bottom?
kind of...
Basically, it looks like a Mario Kart.
No, it looks like the same lawnmower that Forrest Gump had.
Basically, yeah.
It is a Forrest Gump
Basically,
lawnmower.
it's a Snapper Comet. Yeah,
And
It's
it
got
even
handlebars.
has the
has
handlebars
I was
like
wondering if
the
it had the
Forrest Gump one.
handlebars.
Yeah,
Jesus.
yeah,
It's
special.
got handlebars. Honestly, I was talking to a friend of mine who is really, really into lawnmowers. Like, that's his thing. Is
Who
lawnmowers.
has that as a hobby?
Well, he goes to tractor pulls.
Okay.
And lawnmowers for him are just smaller tractors. And so he loves like going to like what do you call them? The lawnmower racing.
Yeah,
He loves going to see those. Even I've seen a couple of videos of them on YouTube. Pretty freaking cool, actually. Because there's some guys that... You guys ever seen Waterboy?
Yes.
When she tricks out his lawnmower and it goes really, really fast? Yeah, that is nothing compared to what some of these guys do.
Oh, trust me, I know. You know why?
Like-
Because I was poor growing up, but I grew up poor in the country. And if you grow up poor in the country, you go to auctions. And I was the kid that would buy almost anything for $1. So I would buy fucking broke down lawnmowers. I'd buy broke down lawnmowers. I would take the fucking deck off of it. I would take the rear end off of it, and I would lower the seat all the way down and change all the pulleys on it. I had one that would do 35 because I took it out on the road one day and had my mom like follow me.
That's honestly
It was fun.
pretty badass.
And then I had another one that wasn't as quick, but it would do fucking wheelies for like... I actually made my own set of wheelie bars for it, and I could actually like ride a wheelie like for a mile. It was fun.
That actually reminds me, I went and visited my old man a couple of years back. This is before my son was born. And me, my half-brother, and my old man were in his backyard. Somebody dropped off a riding mower that he wanted fixed. And he called the guy and he was like, hey, yeah, man, I can fix this, but all the parts altogether is going to be like $800. Like everything that he needed. Because like everything under that
For your new one?
No.
Okay.
For this one that he had. Because it was a really, really nice one. But... Let me rephrase that. It was really, really nice probably 15 years ago.
Yeah.
And so everything was still really fucking expensive on them. I can't remember what it was, but I guess they just discontinued putting those parts in new mowers.
Right, yeah.
So pretty much everything that went out on it, he'd have to special order.
Right.
And so he's like, yeah, it was going to be like $800. And the guy was like, yeah, no, screw it. If you want it, you can have it. Because it still runs, just barely. And he's like, all right, cool. Well, he told me, he was like, yeah, I've got some scrapper coming to pick it up, but we're going to have some fun with it. Dude, we spent so much time revving it and then dropping it into drive and just going boom, 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 boom. Like just basically like forcing it to do a pop a wheelie and then just come slamming down.
Well, the one,
Oh, man,
the
we
one that would
busted
do
the fuck out of that
35,
thing.
like I took the engine partway apart and got rid of the rev limiter on it. So that thing, like if you put it full tilt, it would just be like.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm gonna if I toss a piston out of it, it's fine. It cost me $1, and you know who gives a shit. Yeah, that was my redneck version of a go-kart.
That's actually that's actually some news then. I finally finished the schematics. I'm building my first scooter cooler.
Seriously? Like,
yeah, I drew it up, everything like that. Because I want to build the frame from scratch.
yeah,
Like buy the pipe or buy the 1x1 square pipe,
yeah.
cut it and everything like that, and then bolt it together myself. Then have a buddy weld it. I'm not a welder. Either you or my Nordic buddy, one of you guys, ask you guys to weld it up real quick. Just a couple tack welds, make sure it stays together. But
So you're gonna be that dude at like the county fair sitting on a cooler.
I'm building it to sell it.
Oh, okay.
I'm gonna build it and sell it.
Why do I have a feeling that it's gonna be a cool project?
I kind of want to put like big old mudder tires on it, not like for a car, but big mudder tires on it, so somebody could drive it on the beach and it won't sink in.
That sounds so yeah.
Have you seen where we live, dude? That's
that.
exactly. Go to
That's
one of the
not a
suburbs.
yeehaw. Yeehaw is Texas. This is a yeet yeet.
Yeah, go to one of the little suburbs around our town, man. Fuck yeah, be like, hey, I'll sell you here for $200. Fuck yeah, mama.
Mama, I got myself a new cooler. Yeah, there's actually
I'm driving this to school tomorrow.
there's mud tracks around here, man. Like where people pay to go get their truck stuck and then have somebody with a tractor yank parts off of it.
Why? Why? I cannot right now.
I used to like to go out like mudding and shit like that, but the problem is there's always this unwritten rule.
For anyone that has forgotten, Chan here is from Chicago, and he does not like the country. I, on the other hand, love the country.
I mean, there's
So
nothing wrong with it. I just don't understand sometimes.
It's
You don't need to understand, man. It's fun. Go to no shit. Go to like a little derby race where people are just like taking their old fucking Buick LeSabre and they're like busting out everything they can bust out, putting
are
it
you
on
talking
a dirt
like
track.
a demo derby?
Yeah. And dude,
I've always wanted to go to one of those.
Those are fun,
Like
yeah.
they don't make any sense when you think about it. Like if you're trying to if you sat somebody down who's never heard of it and you could tell they never had any interest in it, try to explain it to them, there's no fucking way. But if you bring them to it, they will fall in love.
No, you can bring anybody to a derby race, and within about 10 minutes, they can go from being like a Wall Street investment banker to a
Oh my fucking god, that was perfect. I cannot.
My
deal with
Nordic
you right
buddy,
now.
he was in one of those races. He flipped his fucking car.
Yeah, that happens quite often.
My buddy Zane. That whenever I talk about Zane, I say my Nordic buddy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Because he's weird.
Yeah.
I love Zane.
No, I'm talking about Clyde.
Oh yeah, Clyde's weird. 110%.
Have you met him? I mean, like, dude, seriously, like, if you looked at somebody who's from Norse mythology and then looked at Zane,
He looks like he needs a battle axe.
Okay, all right. Mm-hmm. He's fucking
broad and bearded, that's all you gotta know.
Hobbits running around and shit, trying to throw a ring into
See,
a
he's
fucking
only
volcano.
5'8", and he's hairy as shit, so he might be the Hobbit. He's gonna hate when he hears that I said that.
Welp.
Did you do anything fun this week, Chan?
Not really. I had court this week, and court is ass. I fucking hate lawyers so much. It's family court because I'm tied up in a battle with my ex-wife. And so I'm sitting there, and there's a dozen lawyers in this courtroom. And they're all just chit-chatting like this is the Breakfast
Can't
Club.
get any worse, and 5 more walk in. Son of a bitch!
And I'm sitting there, I'm looking at them like, aren't you guys supposed to be like against each other right now? And I see the lawyers that was chatting, having a gay old time up at the stand. Oh yeah, we agreed to this. And I'm like, why do you guys have this relationship? And then my girlfriend was like, well, this is a small town, so they all know each other. And I was like, that doesn't seem right. Like,
I've seen Law and Order. That's not how it's supposed to work.
I want a lawyer that
They're
hates
supposed to hate each other.
Exactly. I want a lawyer that hates the other lawyer's guts. At the
Let's
end
go
of the
back
day.
to 1800s where you guys would go back to back with pistols. Go!
Please, duel it out, please.
Fuck you, Kelly McTavish. You're going down. We will see your ass in court.
I want to hear some goddamn objections.
I object.
If I wanted to see this much bullshit, I'd just taken her to Judge Judy.
But yeah, I had to wait an hour and 20 minutes to ask for a continuance. So I didn't really have fun this week.
No, that doesn't sound like it. I have a weird question for both of you. Y'all get down on that live PD show?
Never seen it. I don't really watch
I've
anything.
never seen it live. I
Yeah.
usually just catch reruns.
I like it. They actually just They came up with on Mondays now they have live rescue. Did you hear about that?
Nope. I don't watch TV, bud.
It's the same people who do live PD, but they follow
Paramedics and
fire
fire
and-
rescue.
Yeah.
Hell
So
yeah,
it's
that'd
kind
be
of like
pretty cool.
Night Watch, only like instead of just being New Orleans, it's like different places.
That
Well,
sounds.
I got
cool.
one for you.
Yeah.
Super realistic, and I think you'd like it. It's a little ditty called South Beach Towing.
Oh fuck, I hate that show.
Jesus Christ, that is so fucking staged.
Oh man!
But-
well, one of them got knocked off the top of like a 3-story garage.
Yeah.
They're like, "Oh my god, you killed my friend!" And then she comes walking through and starts whooping ass. It's like, really?
Yeah, I don't watch South Beach Towing. I think I would rather put my nutsack in a vice than watch South Beach Towing.
I've seen all of like 3 episodes, and I was just so done.
The stupid, it burns the skin, the stupid.
And I went to public high school. Fuck.
There was once one of the guys they were transporting on live rescue. Man, I couldn't wait to fucking tell you guys this story because I didn't think you guys had watched it. This
No.
dude called for like abdominal pain, so they get him in the back of the ambulance and stuff, and is like, yeah, I've had this like off and on for this long, whatever. They always take me to the hospital. They can never find what actually is wrong, and man, it hurts. And the paramedics in the back like, okay, well, normally what do? Do they give you a shot, or do they give you something through IV or whatever? And he's like, yeah, and okay, so it normally helps. And at the beginning, I'm thinking, okay, this guy's just looking for some pain meds, because that's where my mind automatically goes. Like, he's just a seeker. And then the guy drops the bomb. He's like, well, I think it might have come from the time when I used a cock ring and fell asleep with it on.
What?
And the medic is like
Huh?
looking at the guy going, okay. And he was like, yeah, I fell asleep with a cock ring on, and when I woke up it was all purple and blue, and it wouldn't go down, so we had to cut it off. I'm like,
The cock ring, right?
that's, yes, the cock ring.
Oh, thank Jesus, because I heard cut it off and I just felt pain.
Oh my god. Yeah, I was like, okay, that's pretty fucking good. Like, that's not my story, but that's at least something kind of fucking...
God damn.
That's the stupidity that we have to deal with on a daily basis.
Damn.
Have you guys ever used the ring before?
I have, yeah.
I'm white.
What does that have to do with
I've
anything?
never bottomed out.
Maybe you would if you tried it.
One good time. One time for the one time. I've used one twice.
Yeah. You don't go with the whole metal one, do you?
No, God,
Oh,
no.
fuck
That
no.
that sounds
No,
like
he uses
mad
a
problems.
pinch collar.
Oh. Silicone.
Gotta wheel
man.
this bad boy back. Ow.
Oh,
Silicone, that's the way to go. So that way, if you do have to cut it off, you don't have to get like a fucking ring cutter.
Jesus.
Hey,
I'm
somebody
just-
go get the angle grinder.
Oh, dude, I set my crotch on fire today. Yeah.
Is that why you have so many holes in your pants? Or
No,
those-
no. My work
Those are
pants.
pants?
Yes.
They're
This is the closest you'll ever see me in shorts.
those are shorts with legs.
Yeah. Like, the closest you'll ever see me to wearing shorts are jeans with big-ass holes in the knees.
I am
Because
looking
then I get a
forward-
breeze up around my giblets, and I'm good.
Like, that's only covering like 60% of you right now.
I'm oh
Boom.
damn it.
Perfect.
I wanted him to go back to like sitting Indian style in the chair, so that way whenever he tried to get up, his knees would poke out too far and he'd get caught.
No, these are really, really baggy.
Okay, all right.
That's
that makes
actually
it even
how
worse.
these. That's actually how these got this bad, though.
So how'd you set your crotch on fire?
I was using an angle grinder, and I wasn't paying attention where the sparks were flying. It was hitting me right in the crotch, and then I looked down, and my whole crotch is just in flames. I'm like, ah! And I'm beating myself out.
So you
I mean,
put your
that's-
dick at work, eh?
Yeah, that's not the first time you beat yourself out.
Actually,
Everybody was 12 at one time, dude.
this happened in the system that I was working in. The cock ring guy kind of brought this one back. I heard it from the people who transported. Apparently, this dude was a mechanic and like a big truck mechanic, like big machinery mechanic, and he found a steel nut that was big enough that it would fit on his Johnson. And
This
so
already sounds like a bad idea.
yeah.
Yeah, this sounds
So
just plain
him and
terrible.
his girlfriend or wife or whoever decided that they were going to use it as a an assist, if you will. And so he put it on there. Okay, this is the shitty. It's a fucking nut off of a truck. Like, it's not going to cut off easily. They had to actually get, like, environmental services at the hospital come down with a fucking angle grinder to cut this bad boy off.
How big was it exactly for it to get stuck on? Like,
Well,
how big was he to fit through it in the first place?
Well, I mean, you got to think it. Okay, say it's fucking inch, whatever. You put it on when you're flaccid, but then that's why they make them out of silicone, because once you... Okay, let me go medical for a moment. Once one becomes engorged
Oh, Jesus.
with a metal cock ring on, the blood cannot flow back into the body. It is stuck at the phallus. So that's why it turns purple, because basically it's just trapping all the blood and it can't return. Yeah. And let that go on long enough, your dick's going to fall off.
If you keep playing with it, it's going to fall off.
This is the only case when that is actually correct.
What was it? Futurama, when Bender became a human. He's like, "What's this?" Fry's like, "Bender, no, it's gonna make God cry."
Jesus Christ.
Tears of semen. Willie the One-Eyed Wonder Worm.
It's a one-eyed, one-horned, flying purple people eater.
So, I have a personal EMS story I was going to tell you guys that I remembered that happened in the town that you guys are currently living in.
Oh yeah.
And it was like kind of in, not really ghetto area, but like, not the nicest of houses. So it was like, we were supposed to get off at work at like 6:30 in the morning. This call came out at like 5 or 6 o'clock in the morning. Like, it was just getting light outside. And it was for a guy that had swallowed an object.
An entire roll of dimes.
No, it's worse than that.
That was filled with baby's fingers.
The guy called. We get there, and he's walking very slowly. So we're like, okay, well, what happened? He was like, I swallowed a knife. And we're like, oh, how? How does that happen? Well, I had an itch at the back of my throat,
Oh, my fucking God.
and I was using a butter knife to scratch the itch, and my girlfriend came around the corner, scared me, and I swallowed it.
Motherfucker.
I'm
That's
like,
the point where I'm just like, you're just going to die today. You deserve that one.
it gets even better, because, I mean, okay, a butter knife is,
I'm impressed that it went down.
Okay, hold on for just a minute. Let me explain the rest of this.
Okay.
So you know how a butter knife is like 10 inches long, 10 inches long, whatever?
Yeah, that's all right.
Your esophagus is, 8 to 10 inches long, and then you have the stomach below that. So, of course, he didn't want to bend at all, and we didn't want him to bend over at all because, punctures esophagus, whatever.
Yeah.
And like I said, this was like really near the end of our shift. So we get him on the cot, very carefully drive over to the hospital, and they take him back for an x-ray, and we're starting our report. There was a fork underneath of it. So he had a fork and then the butter knife. How in the... I didn't even ask the dude what happened with the fucking fork. I was just like, okay, butter knife, plausible story. Did you, have another itch and have somebody else scare you to get the fork down there, or what the fuck?
No, he was doing some real kinky shit at that point.
I guess. What the... I mean, seriously.
This is the same guy that kept losing hamsters.
And light bulbs.
Lemmy winks. Lemmy winks. Lemmy winks.
That was when Scrubs. Either the kid has a light bulb up his butt or his colon has a great idea.
Ding.
Yeah. I've seen way too many people that have weird stuff up the butt. I actually took a guy to the hospital one time that had a shampoo bottle up his butt.
How did he fit that up there?
Well, even worse was his excuse. He said, I was taking a shower, I slipped and fell on it.
Bullshit.
Right?
You had to come down with some force, bro. Because it got all the way in there.
There was maybe 2 inches sticking out. Yeah.
No, what was the worst one I ever heard of in corrections? One of the officers I worked with actually had a grievance filed against her because the inmate claimed that she was inappropriately touched. Okay. Now, the whole reason she filed this grievance was because this officer, while doing a shakedown, was patting down her legs, and you're supposed to go all the way up.
Right, to the
All the
cooter.
way up. Yeah. when I had to shake down visitors, no shit, you go all the way up until you feel their balls touch your hand.
Mm-hmm.
No shit. That's how it was.
How many balls have you had in your hand?
We don't grasp them.
I mean,
You lose your
way
job.
too many.
caress of the inner thigh.
Way
No, you
too
actually have to
many.
go up, like all the way up. Now, if they start getting jumpy, that's on them. Like, what are you trying to hide? Like, if we've had people sneak shit in like that.
Yeah, because there's a lot of places you can hide things.
Oh yeah, yeah.
The old prison wallet.
the black tar heroin I told you about.
Uh huh.
I guarantee somebody snuck it in under the nutsack or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Guarantee it. But anyway, she
2
went all the way up.
pounds of Mexican black tar heroin,
She went all the way up. She felt something weird.
and it was a penis.
Like, "What the hell's in your pants?" She's like, "Nothing." No, it wasn't your pants.
Was it an inmate or was it a?
Oh, it was an inmate.
Okay.
And she's like, "What's in your pants?" "Nothing." "No, there's something in your pants. What's in your pants?" "Nothing." "So there's nothing between your legs?" "Just my pussy." I really hope your pussy doesn't feel like that.
Yeah.
And she's like, "What's that supposed to mean?" She's like, "All right, well, you're getting strip searched." She's like, "What?" He's like, "Yep, you're getting strip searched." "No, I'm not." And this officer was like, yeah, you are."
Definitely are.
Took her to healthcare unit. They strip searched her. She was trying to sneak a chicken leg from a raw chicken leg.
What the fuck?
She was trying to sneak a raw chicken leg from the dietary, that's what they called it, the chow hall, back to her housing unit. Yeah. And half it was sticking out, and that's what she felt when she went down there. She felt the bulge of the fucking chicken.
Oh, that's fucking disgusting.
This is an audio podcast. I wish people could see the look on my face.
Women are gross.
You're gonna get salmonella in your puss. Don't do
People
that.
are gross.
No, honestly, that really wasn't even what
Well,
really
how the fuck
grossed
was
me
she
out
supposed
about
to
it.
cook it?
That's what I was thinking.
In her vagina?
I hope it's not that warm. If it is, you have, gonorrhea or something.
Oh man, no, there have been a couple of cases like that where people sneak stuff in.
Seriously?
Sneak stuff out. Oh man,
Raw
disgusting.
chicken has salmonella in it. No,
Yup.
don't fucking. That's how you get an infection. Oh my
It
god.
probably wouldn't have been her first.
Honestly, the same housing unit, an inmate got sent to healthcare, and she was admitted, I guess you could say, into healthcare. She was in there, and she had salmonella poisoning. And this bitch literally said, "That's impossible. I don't eat fish."
That's not where that comes from.
They're not little salmons.
And I kind of looked at her, and I was like, "I'm going back to my desk now. My brain hurts." She's like, "What do you mean?" I'm like, "The doctor will be in tomorrow. Ask him."
I don't eat fish. Yeah, people are really fucking stupid.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Yeah, people are stupid. and you should respect
I
them.
am sorry, but I'm still going back to what the fuck was she thinking putting a raw chicken leg in her vajaj?
Can we just skip this
How
part?
was she going to cook it?
I'm going to come back at you with a question.
All right.
I worked in a minimum security women's prison.
Uh-huh.
Okay. No, not all inmates, but most of the inmates who are in there were not that bright. Do you really think she thought the plan through?
True. But
She's also locked up. She does not have a history of thinking her actions through.
True.
except for I've seen some of the shit that inmates cook up with like ramen noodles and fucking
Oh yeah,
Oh yeah,
no,
that
there,
hooked that shit up.
there are a couple inmates there that, oh man, when commissary day,
Yeah.
they ate like fucking kings.
But
Like man, the burritos they had were better than any burrito I've ever seen
yeah, and
out here.
I mean, we've talked about it before. We watched that after prison show thing, and they cook up some rad ass shit using the cheapest fucking shit you can find.
Oh yeah.
But what the fuck were they gonna do? What the fuck was she gonna do with a chicken leg?
I never told you this. One of the more popular inmates in there, her birthday rolled around, and a couple of her friends, because she has a small group of people she knows. She was a great inmate. Like I barely knew her name, and never talked to her. She never talked to me. She never caused any problems. She pretty much went out in line to do her Go to the library, go to the chow line, anything like that. Came back, went back in the room, watched TV, read, stuff like that. Never had a problem with her.
Sounds like a good inmate.
Oh, yeah, perfect. Loved him. If I don't know your name, that's a good thing. If I'm on a housing unit for 90 days and I leave without knowing your name, that's a damn good thing.
Zero problems.
Yeah.
It's kind of the same way in EMS, because if I don't know your name when I show up, that's a good thing, because I haven't seen you before. If I walk up and go, hey, what's going on again? That's
Hey,
a
Don.
bad idea.
Hey, Don.
If we're on a first name basis, then you're doing something wrong.
Yeah. Well, they're throwing her a birthday party, and technically they were not allowed to have birthday parties because that would be considering trafficking, trading food. You're not allowed to share your food.
Jesus.
Technically, trafficking, trading.
Why? I mean, I get it, but why? Just
Well,
let
It's
somebody
one of those.
celebrate
It's
some.
one of those fucking rules that if they want to get dinged on, they could, but normally they probably wouldn't.
Yeah. Yeah. Honestly,
You got to
if-
be a real shithead.
if I'm getting you on trafficking, trading for sharing your food, it means you're a bitch in every sense of the word.
You've done
on every
more.
other thing.
Yeah,
I was
you've done
actually
more
one of the
shit.
best officers there when it came to being chill. I wasn't one of the best officers in general. I mean, I was probably about medium.
You're probably one of those people who are like, if you're cool, I'm cool.
Yeah. No, that was one thing I told him when I came in. I was like, there are certain rules that irk me, and I will enforce them. I don't care how you feel about it. But my attitude is 100% based off of your attitude. So if you come at me acting like an idiot, guarantee I'm going to be a dick to you. So, anyway. One of them made like a 3-layer cake
In prison.
out of chocolate, peanut butter, caramel, like all this. It had like knockoff Reese cups on the top. It had a brownie as a centerpiece that they could put the candle in. Like,
Wait a minute. I have a question. How did they get a candle?
no, I'm saying that you could put a candle in.
Oh, okay. All right.
Like that was supposed to be like the centerpiece
Okay.
of
All right.
right
All
around
right. All
outside.
right. All right. I was just curious.
No, they didn't have a candle. But
They just had a
if I saw
cigarette.
any kind of fire, I'm like, we've been smoke free since like 2003.
I was gonna say
the
they
fuck
just have
outta
a
here.
fucking cigarette sticking out of it.
No, that was actually one of the dumbest things I ever did.
Got rid of smoking.
Inside prisons,
Yeah.
yes. Because dude, I can't tell you how many times any veteran officer will tell you 2 inmates are getting into it. Say Jackson and James, okay?
Yeah. Whatever. Yeah.
You know, inmate Jackson, inmate James, knock it off. They're still arguing, bitching at each other. Jackson, James, knock it off. And they'll, if I come over there, you're going to regret it. They kind of say the last few words, they walk off. 5 minutes later, you're seeing James outside smoking a cigarette, cooling the fuck down.
Mm-hmm.
Without smoking, 5 minutes later, you're seeing James crushing Jackson's head in
Yeah.
with a fucking library book.
You want to hear?
I bet when somebody get admitted in like between the first week and the third week, they're just fucking going to start crazy if they're smokers.
That's really one reason I was glad that I worked at the minimum security, because all intake was the max security, and they were there for on average about like, I don't know, between a month and 3 months.
I
So
actually
I
saw-
didn't get them till after those nicotine cravings were gone.
I recently saw a video. I can't remember if it was Texas or it was somewhere south. This, I think it was a guard, started a company that made the first safety e-cig. Like, it's flexible like the ink pens are.
Yeah, that's in God, where is that? That is in Florida.
Is it
It's
Florida?
just it's a county, I want to say. It's
Yeah,
not the
but
actual state.
apparently it's catching on in different places where a lot of prisons are allowing inmates to scan out an e-cig for like a day or something like that.
It's basically like commissary,
Yeah,
or like
it's like a class, a higher class of thing. I think the dude said it costs like $15
Yep,
to get
it's-
one
it's
or something
basically
like
like-
that.
Fuck that.
it's basically
If
like
you're in fucking prison, man, and you got that, you got to get that nicotine.
it's
you know?
basically like commissary when you're getting a razor.
yeah.
That e-cig is signed out to you. When you get a new one, you have to give them your old one.
Right. Yeah.
And if the one you give them does not match up the number when they scan it as yours, you don't get a new one.
Right.
So you better not be giving people your shit. That's how it is.
Well, I think that's a good idea. Because, like
Sorry,
you said,
trying to hold that off.
yeah, well, I mean, Clyde's sick, so not
Not sick, but yeah.
He's
I got a
syphilis.
I have a sinus infection. It's all starting to drain into my throat. That's why my throat sounds so funny today.
Your throat sounds funny.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep.
So, yeah, that was one of the things I was going to ask you about. If you had seen those e-cigs in prison.
Yeah, I have, man. They're actually really, really cool. I think it's a really good idea because
So
they're
you said
not made out of.
They're flexible,
Yeah.
Yeah, they're not made out of like metal and plastic like they are out on the outside.
so you can't
They're-
make a shank out of it.
Exactly, they're made out of basically, you know, the like a Bic pen,
Yeah.
like the inside, like the actual ink cartridge, or what we want to call it.
It's like
the-
super duper flexible.
Yeah, it's super. Like you can just bend it by poking it. It's basically like a thinner version of that.
So how small is it? It's like
It's about the same size as a regular, like a Jewel or
Yeah, those
a
little-
blue, like
those
the
little
blue
guys.
e-cigs that
Yeah.
were real popular for a while. It's about the same size.
I mean, those things are still popular. I started using one because I have like 2 units, but I forget those bitches all the time.
Honestly, I have noticed something about those things though.
What?
They
When
look
you're
like
watching-
a fucking hitter.
Well, no, not just that. You can tell what people are in there for by how they hold it.
Really? Why is that?
They're holding it like a cigarette. They're just a regular smoker, so it's probably not drug related.
Right.
Okay.
If they're holding it like
if they're palming it,
Yeah.
that's typically something from a hitter or a
That's
sneaker
what
toe.
they're used to.
So that's what they're used to. And then there are some guys that fold it because it's flexible and they hold it like a pipe,
Really?
crack pipe.
Wow.
I actually saw. I'm sure they weren't supposed to do this, but there was 2 inmates that were passing each of theirs back and forth, and they were like taking dual hits off of it.
Mm-hmm.
So they could get
there
more
are a couple of
nicotine.
guys. There are a couple of guys that do that because I mean it's basically the same thing. Because I mean if both of them have 2, because you can get up to 2 or 3 at a time or something like that. Like you can't get very many more than that from what the rules I heard. But you get up to 2 or 3 at a time, and most of them will go, okay, I want 1 menthol, 1 regular.
Yeah.
And then they'll go and sit down and they'll be kicking it with their celly, and then be like, oh, okay, hey, you know, one of them smokes regular, one of them smokes menthol. We'll just kind of switch off with each other, just be like, so menthol and regular, so they're getting a heavier nicotine hit
Yeah.
without wasting their own.
Like 12 milligrams instead of 6 or whatever the hell.
And so, I mean, that could probably be considered trafficking, trading, but if they're not being an asshole, I mean, fucking let them do it.
Yeah.
I mean, hell, honestly, most of being a correctional officer is let them be unless they're a dick.
Well, and here's the thing that bothers me about the judicial system and prison systems in the U.S. anyway. Like, what's the statistic? Like 85% of inmates are for nonviolent drug use.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And marijuana use at that.
Yeah.
It's like,
Oh shit! I told you the story of the little lady, didn't I?
maybe?
There was a woman that the prison I worked at. She was like 87, 88 when I worked there. She was in prison for like a year and a half when I got there. She had a 12-year sentence for transporting marijuana across state lines.
Jesus.
12 fucking year sentence.
Didn't Clint Eastwood make a movie about that recently? The
Maybe.
Mule?
Yeah. I
Well,
haven't seen
his
it yet,
was
but
like a heavy amount. Like now, granted,
that's from
hers
like
wasn't.
Mexico up to.
Hers was not a small amount. She wasn't like caught with a dime.
She was caught with like 2 pounds or something.
No, she was caught with like 26 pounds.
Holy
Jesus.
fuck!
Yeah,
She was
So
moving.
grandma was hauling.
yeah.
I mean, that's the
Well-
best. Who's less likely to get pulled over, 20-year-old or 80-year-old?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But still, I mean, they threw the fucking book at her. I don't give a shit what anybody says. They basically gave her a death sentence.
Yeah, 87 years old. By the time you hit that 12-year mark, you're either so
I mean,
dementiated
even-
that you have nothing left, or
87 years old, even serving your 50%, that's still 6 years. You're 93 when you get out, and you're living in a prison system.
Yep.
You're not living to 93.
Or at least she
Now
did
say.
it on the tail end of her life instead of in the middle.
yeah. I mean, I always said, fuck it. If I make it to 80, then I'm gonna be riding a Harley with a bottle of Jack in one hand and just 90 mile an hour down the highway. You know why? Because
You already lived your life. Fuck it.
yeah.
What was that? I was telling one of the guys I work with. I was like, yeah, one of my buddies has always said he'll never fight an old man. He's like, well, why's that? No, he's a bit of an older gent. And he's like, yeah, why's that? I was like, 'cause y'all have already lived your life. I mean, fuck it, if you kill us, oh well.
Oh, well. What am I gonna do? 6 months in prison? Fuck it.
Right. Exactly. What was one of those saying is, don't be afraid of a young. Don't be afraid of a young soldier. Be afraid of an old soldier because they've made it through some shit.
Actually, when my partner at work and I were just talking about this the other day, it happened to be about nurses. And they said that...
Ooh, I have something to bring up on that too.
Are you talking about that card game thing?
Keep going.
But no, he said that I guess somebody he knew came out of retirement and went back to work as a registered nurse. I think it was like his grandma or something like that. And they ended up terminating her within like 8 months. And I'm like, well, why? And he's like, because she was just getting too old. And I'm like, okay, if I'm having a medical emergency and I get sent to the hospital, I don't like hospitals.
Yeah, no.
And I get sent to the hospital, I don't want to see a pretty young thing in front of me. I want to see
with needles.
What I want to see is the old lady who is not wearing makeup that would scare my child, because that bitch knows what she's doing and she's been around a while.
Okay, let me throw a little wrench into this this statement though.
Like that's what I want.
Because I've seen the old nurses who, yes, they know what they're doing, and I've seen young nurses that, you know, don't necessarily know what they're doing because they haven't been doing it long enough. But it's the same way with EMS too. There are some old fuckers that
set in their ways
still do it like it was done in the fucking 70s and 80s, whereas you've got the young people.
He has a splinter, cut his leg off.
You got ghost in your blood. You should do cocaine about it.
Yeah.
And then you've got some of the younger people who, you know, they take the time to study more so that way they have more, you know, up-to-date knowledge on some of this stuff. So it's kind of like a 50-50, you know. Yes, I understand the older nurses know what they're doing, but you don't want one that's like, okay, well, you know, we've always done it this way, so this is the way we're going to do it from now on, except for maybe that changed drastically in the last 20 years, you know?
Right.
Anyway.
Which I get that, I do. But what I'm saying is, I don't want to see a pretty young thing coming at me with a needle. If you're spending more time on your hair in the morning than you are studying, that's a problem with me.
Yeah, but technically, I mean, if they are a nurse and they're coming at you with a needle, they've already gotten out of school, you know? I used to work with a dude who... you know,
even if they graduated at the bottom of their class,
that's right,
they still graduated.
Exactly. Yeah, I've had that conversation with a few people before, because I'll get new kids who are brand new, like there's still a sheen on their medic license, and they're like, "Well, I got the same license you do, so I know just as much."
That's not how that works.
No, that's earned, not taught. So just get a couple years under your belt, bro.
Experience beats everything.
We actually had an officer do that.
Really?
Yeah, he swore up and down he's just as good an officer as anybody else. Now, like I said, I was not the best. I wasn't. Now, because, well, one, I only did it for 14 months.
Right.
There's no fucking way you're a correctional officer for 14 months and you're the best at your job. No. There are guys that have been doing it for 20 years. There are guys that have been doing it since... There was one guy who I actually made laugh because I was like, so when did you start here? He was my lieutenant. He's like, well, I started here in 1999. And I was like, huh. He's like, what were you doing in 1999? I was like, learning to write. And he was like, come again? I was like, I was in the first grade, sir. And he was like, go sit down, Russell. You just made me feel old.
I get that all the fucking time, though, guys. Like, even whenever you come over, I'm like, I'm 30. You're 26. Fuck.
He's about your age. 28.
I'm 29.
Okay, all right. So,
yeah.
I'm right there with you. Old man status.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you were bringing up the nurse thing with the... Chan, have you seen the nurse thing?
Yes, I've seen the nurse thing.
Okay, all right. I guess they have been sending her like Amazon packages full of playing cards and stuff.
That is awesome.
And she said that she was going to do a 12-hour shift, you know, just to see what nurses actually do. I'm like, okay, whatever. And you know, I thought it was okay. First
12 hours.
First
lightweight.
I support nurses. I support good nurses, just like I support cops. I support good cops. You know, there are some shitty nurses.
There's plenty of shitty nurses.
Yeah, there's shitty EMS too. I support good EMS. You know, I support the good people. The shitty ones can fuck off. But the thing was, it was kind of cool to see all the nurses like kind of rally with each other on, well, how in the hell are they gonna, you know, say this, and you know, because that's not what we do, and I know that's not what they do, right? Because I've been around it long enough, I know exactly what nurses actually do. So whenever I saw one of the, I think it was a show me your stethoscope or something. I got on there because it was kind of sadly masturbatory with the nurses, because everybody was like, we all gotta be together and we all have to rally together and we gotta show this lady what's up and blah 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 blah. And it was like, 1,000 freaking posts in this thing. And I was like, I haven't poked the bear in a while.
Ooh.
Let me get my stick out. So I posted on there, and I was just like, yeah, it's it's great that you guys
He
are...
sent him a wiener shot.
No.
Took a picture of his ding dong. And
Not that
posted
stick.
it.
Not that stick. My poking stick.
Same thing.
Yeah, exactly. Poke
So-
that bear. Get it?
So I put on there, I was like, it's great to see you nurses rallying around. It's just a shame that, we can't get support like this for EMS. And they were like, well, what do you mean? We nurses have to stick together and, we have such a hard job and blah, blah, blah. And I was like, yeah, but you don't have to work a 24-hour shift dealing with the same thing on the street side and, this, that, and the other. And they were like, well, EMS has always been a first responder, or first responders are always seen as the heroes in the situations. And I was like, no, you're thinking of firemen.
Yes.
Firemen and cops.
Oh, yeah.
Those are the heroes. EMS is the redheaded stepchild.
Nobody gives a fuck about a paramedic.
I was
No,
just saying,
no, fuck
corrections falls into the same thing. They're
Uh-huh.
the forgotten stepchild.
And I was like,
'Cause nobody thinks about what happens to a criminal after they get locked up.
yeah, And the nurses, one of the nurses put on there something like, well, I'm sorry you feel that way, but all paramedics and EMTs are first responders. And I was like, well, then why is it every time I go to a hospital, at least one nurse calls one of us an ambulance driver? And they were like, they came back with something like, well, I'm sorry you don't like your career choice that much. And I was like, no, I like my career choice. I just don't like the way that we're treated as well as the way that you guys are treated. And I think they actually blocked me on there. I was like,
like-
yay, poking works.
It's like, I don't like being treated the way you guys are getting treated by you.
Yeah, constantly. Like, I don't have time.
Like, yeah, no, I
It's
100%.
all well and positive until you try and include somebody else.
Exactly.
Like, hey guys, can I get in this shine? No.
No, get back.
Gatekeepers.
Yes.
They're literally standing at the ER doors with sticks going, get out, this is our time,
Let us shine for 5 seconds before we go back to playing cards.
Yeah. No, that's literally the firemen. No, that's Xbox One, sorry. Oh, God. Yeah, I was reading that whole thing, and for some reason, I don't know why, but I just get joy from sometimes being the turd in the punch bowl. Mm-hmm.
You enjoy being the troll?
I do.
We
I do.
had a few of our own games that we would play in corrections.
What is that, Rash?
No. Some of them were kind of innocent, but then other ones kind of got bad.
Like harassment bad? Like
No,
hazing?
yeah.
No, yeah.
That when you say
Well.
when you added harassment, that's when I was like, yeah. Not with the inmates, just with the other officers.
New blood.
Whenever you see an inmate that was like really, really, really proud of like their new hairdo, you're like, hey, looks good. And then as soon as they walk past, you make sure they can see her, like, oh damn. They'll be like, what? Like, oh, nothing. Like, what? And they'd be like feeling the back of their head. And so,
Fuck
That is cruel.
That is awesome.
Or another one would be to call a random inmate up to your desk and be like, Inmate Andrews, get up here. They come out of the room like, well, what's wrong? I'm like, I need to see your ID. Why? Just give me your ID. And now you always have like a stack of tickets right next to you. You have to, according to protocol, you have to verify their ID when you write them a ticket. Okay.
Making them sweat.
Oh man, it's like, let me see your ID. As soon as you give them, they hand you your ID. I'm like, okay, just make sure you're here.
God.
Oh man, that would get them
That's
going.
a fucking dick move.
Oh,
man.
dude, but when you're fucking
Funny,
bored. Oh yeah.
but a dick move.
Now there are other ones that usually involve excessive drinking and who's gonna fuck who. Like, no, seriously, like there was like maybe 10 officers in the prison I worked at that
Yeah.
weren't fucking each other, myself included.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, there was only like 10 of us that were just like, yeah, I'm married to somebody outside of here. Tell me that's my why wee-wee's going. And everybody else was just, dude, they were pounding on anything they could get their
That's
hands
fucking
on.
terrifying.
Oh,
What is it with
dude.
security
I think
forces
that's-
and fucking each other?
Let's
Dude,
be.
no, like they really were. Like, I remember when I was there that there was one girl, really, really attractive girl. I mean, she's pretty sweetheart. I liked her a lot. She had a sister who was one of those "I'm pretty and I know it" types.
hmm
Didn't really like her.
The people we hate. Us
They're-
outcasts hate those people.
Yeah, didn't really like her. Was a correctional officer as well at the same prison. Didn't really like her, but whatever. Just didn't talk to her.
Right.
Boom, solved that. Well, they had a.
You were on
friend-
hardcore fuck off status.
Yeah, there was another officer that they both hung out with. Well, the one I liked and the friend, evidently they were both interested in the same guy.
Oh,
Well,
no.
he was just kind of taking turns going back and forth between them. I'm just like, I mean,
Do you?
You.
congratulations, I
Do you,
guess,
boo-boo.
but this is gonna blow up on you bad because I
Either
guess
that,
neither
or it's
of
going to
them-
work out way better than he had
oh,
intended.
Neither of them knew.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Well, wait, they didn't tell each other about it?
No.
Like, every
They
girl
knew.
that I've ever been with that knew somebody else that I knew.
He already had another girlfriend.
Oh, so they had to keep it on DL.
Yeah, so he had two side chicks
Damn.
that worked together and were friends outside of work.
Unfortunately,
And
that
then-
happens in pretty much every first responder or.
Dude, I want to
Career.
say the divorce rate in corrections is higher than any other law enforcement.
Yeah.
I don't know about first responder, but
Like
higher than any other
EMS.
law enforcement.
EMS and fire have very high divorce rates. Mm-hmm. And there's usually, like, you hear about it. You hear about who has, who's
Oh, yeah.
porking who and.
I mean, when you're together for, 10 to 18 hours,
24.
24, like, you're in the same space all the time. You either start fucking or you hate each other.
Yeah. Either that or you're just like, we're cool, whatever, Because I was never one of those. Cause I always took that.
brought potato chips this time.
I always take to heart that whole don't eat where you shit or don't shit where you eat kind of thing.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
I
I
broke that
learned that
rule
in
once.
life eventually.
I broke that rule once.
Twice.
I married her.
3 times.
Oh, well,
the
good for you.
lady.
Yeah, I broke that rule once, and I ended up marrying her. So
Well,
yeah.
that's your fault.
I have this just long-standing running rumor. I've been working at the same place for 11 years. Anytime I
This
talk
is his
to...
only job he's ever had. by
Only
the way.
job I've ever had.
29 years old. That's the only one. Oh my god.
Didn't
Chan-
realize that was there.
Tan just hit my guitar.
My bad.
That was, dude. I thought Drew was gonna come out of his seat, man.
It's a very pretty guitar.
It's a very pretty guitar. You're not a musician.
But yeah, same spot for 11 years. If I talk to a female coworker for more than 5 minutes, I'm automatically banging that chick, according to the rest of the staff.
That's just fucking boredom on their part, though.
All right, so check this out. I had a coworker that had the same last name as me. And so I had this running joke. I'll come in and be like, "Hey, Miss Williams," and she'd be like, "Hey, Mr. Williams," and hey,
You're right.
yeah. And we were very friendly with each other. And eventually, I heard the rumor because everybody tells me everything that I was banging her, and I was like, "Not as far as I know." So that's cool. I see. This is like year 7 of me being there, so I'm
Right,
used to this
yeah, yeah.
rumor at this point. And I'm like, "All right, that's cool. This is the new one." Eventually, she transferred to a different store, and at this different store, she found out the rumor. And he was like, "Oh, aren't you the person that's sleeping with Chandler?" And she was like, "This is the first time I'm hearing of it." So she texted me and she was like, "Hey, did you know that we were sleeping together?" "Oh, yeah, we've been sleeping together for like 2 years at this point."
Jesus. That fucking. I'm just gonna put this out there. Unfortunately, in some companies, as far as EMS goes, same shit happens, but it's not usually like between the EMS and other EMS. It's usually the fucking either nurses or the EMTs get bored and they start spreading rumors that hospital staff and EMS are fucking. And 99.9% of the time, it's not fucking true. It's just one of those things that people get bored and start spreading rumors for no goddamn reason whatsoever.
Well, on average, I am about the only guy that's there. throughout my career, I would be
Nobody's
like the
in it.
third guy out of a staff of 32.
Right.
And I was the young guy. Like, the other people were, you know.
I just farted.
God damn it, Clyde.
And it got picked up. That's awesome. It was just
40 to 50
it was
plus,
a little toot.
or, you know, like, well in age and married, so nobody's worried about them. But, you know, I was the single guy that's attractive, air quotes, air quotes, air quotes.
Yeah, this is audio only. They can't see you.
Yeah.
Thank
I don't think I'm attractive. I'm just saying that's what other people say.
You're a very good-looking chocolatey man.
I am a solid 4.5 out of 20.
As long as you're holding a fifth, that's at least a 9.
And so, yeah, I would always just draw all the aggro from all the other women.
Yeah,
And I still to this day don't understand it. It happened again, like, not even 2 months ago, and somebody got fired over it.
no shit.
I've been on the receiving end of a rumor like that. And it was an officer that I went through the academy with. And this was toward the end of my working there, where I found out that there was 3 of us left out of our hiring group. Like, everyone else either got fired or something. One of them got fired, and she didn't understand what she did fucking wrong. She let an inmate on transfer out of the van
What the
and
fuck?
let her smoke a cigarette at a gas station in the middle of town.
What the fuck?
And she's like, I don't know what I did wrong. I was just being a human. I'm like, you're
Don't
lucky
be a
she
human.
wasn't. You're lucky she wasn't a flight risk. Like, you got so fucking lucky she didn't decide to bolt. Because I knew this lady. She was not very aware. So if this inmate wanted to, probably could have taken those cuffs and cracked her across the jaw and ran for it. Especially because where at the gas station they were at, there's a lot of woods right behind it.
Oh, fuck
She could have
it.
ran right off.
What a moron.
Circle K on Oakland.
Oh, motherfucker.
What a fucking
Sit up,
moron.
ran straight for it. And I'm like,
Stupid is as stupid does.
what? Man, this girl had so many problems in the academy. I remember she was actually in my shooting range class, and these were the instructions given to us. Draw your firearm. Aim. Fire 2 rounds.
And she goes, well, where's the paper so I can draw it?
Reholster. Stand at the ready position.
That's
Those-
pretty simple.
Those are the instructions.
Right.
She drew, and she emptied all 6 rounds in the revolver.
I fucking knew she was gonna do it all.
And the officer in charge kind of walked up to me, and he was like, were you listening? She's like, I thought you meant both rounds, because, you know, the cylinder's round, so I was going to reload and shoot the other
Oh, what
round.
a special needs girl.
And he was like, 1 round is 1 bullet. And she's like, that doesn't make any sense.
How did she get that far? Who gave her a gun? Who put a gun in this woman's hands?
She passed! And you know
did
what the
she
worst
pass?
part was? We don't know.
Whose dick was she sucking?
That's what I was
Oh,
just
God.
thinking.
I
She
hope-
was under a desk somewhere.
I hope not, because she looked like Gru from...
A mouth's a mouth at the end of the day. A mouth is a mouth.
Oh my
yeah,
god.
but if you look
How
down even for a
fucking-
second, it's just like...
There's this thing called a bag. You cut a hole in it. There's glory holes. All types of everything to just avoid that direct eye contact.
Man.
Oh my... What
No.
the fuck, man?
No.
I have... Oh my god.
They actually, a lot of the other officers refer to her as Gru when they were talking about her.
I have seen fucking people do stupid shit at ranges, but seriously?
Dude, so bad.
And it was
so
a fucking
bad.
revolver.
How
Oh.
old was she?
She was actually like 10 years older than me, and I was 23 at the time.
How do you get that far in life and be that dense?
Dude,
I've
it
had
was
partners like
so
that.
much fucking worse. She would always argue with the officers in charge of us. She would always say one stupid thing after another. We got in there, it was late October, early November. That's when we started. Winter rolls around. They shut down the yards. The inmates convinced her that they were allowed to have outside time during the winter, so she opened up the back patio to let them out, and she got caught because they built a fucking snowman.
That's kind of fucking funny, though.
That is a little funny.
I would
but
love to see inmates making a snowman. I'd be like, oh, isn't that cute? They're like real people. Sorry.
Well,
I had a partner that was
man,
probably
dumb as a
dense,
box of rocks.
about as dense as that person. And I've told this story before, but I'm going to tell you because you haven't heard it. And she was one of those people. She got her medic license maybe a month before I did because she just did basic to paramedic. She didn't do basic intermediate paramedic.
okay.
But so as an intermediate, you're allowed to, give drugs, start IVs, use the cardiac monitor, all that stuff. You basically, getting your medic license from an intermediate, you get 5 more drugs and like 2 more processes that you can do.
Okay.
Like as a medic, I can do a surgical airway. As a intermediate, you could only do a needle crike, which the difference is, with a needle crike, you take a large gauge needle, put it into the throat where the airway is to get past what the blockage is. With a surgical crike, you actually take a scalpel, cut a slit, and then put a like a catheter in there to keep the airway open.
Okay.
So, like I said, she got hers just like a month before me, whatever. And at this point, I had been, operating at the eye level for a couple of years, while I was in medic class. So I had already had, a lot of experience with the drugs and the IVs and all that stuff.
And she had 0.
Yeah, exactly. She only had classroom time and ride time. But she was one of those people that it didn't matter what time of day she would run a call, she would always go to the bathroom and redo her makeup. Like,
what?
Yes. And I found out why she would do that later on. But
Was she snorting lines?
no, because her without makeup was scary. Like, I don't know what happened in her childhood, but apparently she had acne scars that would like beat the band.
Oh,
Like, it looked like a topographical map of Mars.
Jesus.
But whenever she was wearing makeup, it was fine. And all I can assume was that the base layer of her makeup was actually Bondo.
Petty.
So,
dumb.
but she was one of those people that, like, yeah, I ran a gunshot victim with her years ago.
Oh God, yeah, you did tell me about this.
And like it was a 13-year-old girl that we roll up on right as fire's rolling up on. Police are all there. Fucking, of course, the entire neighborhood's out and watching what's going, and everybody's yelling and screaming and stuff. And she literally, like, it was her turn to treat, and she just did nothing. So, like, it was literally me and a fireman doing everything, like getting her on the backboard, and I'm telling the fireman, I'm like, this is not a safe scene because everybody's like going nuts even though the cops are there. I'm like, we have got to get this girl rolling. Well, it was my partner's, my partner was supposed to be treating, but she is literally like just standing and watching what's going on, and I'm like,
A fly on the wall.
do something. At least pretend like you know what you're doing. And we get her in the back, and my partner goes up to the head of the cot. And like I said, this chick had been shot like twice, and still had a pulse. Was unresponsive. My partner put the monitor electrodes on her, and then was just staring at the monitor, looking at it like, that is not gonna do it. Start an IV, give some fluids, stop the bleeding, do something.
How long has he been on the job at this point?
This was maybe like a year into it or something.
How? How do you not know what the fuck to do at that point?
Dense, dude. That's all I'm saying. Dense. And so yeah, like, I ended up jumping in the back, and I told one of the other firemen, because she's just literally sitting at the head of the cot with the monitor over here, staring at the monitor. Like, she would look at the patient, then look at the monitor, then look at the patient, then look at the monitor. I'm like, she's not gonna do anything. Get in here with me. And I had another fireman drive us to the hospital. Luckily, we were only like maybe a mile from the hospital. So I'm like, I've got the fireman putting, like trauma dressings on this chick. I'm trying to get an IO put in so that way I can start giving fluids or at least get some sort of a line in. I finally got a line in, and as I get the line in, she flatlines.
Fuck.
So I'm literally like, I told the fireman, I'm like, start doing CPR. And my partner, and mind you, I'm at the feet Like, I can't get past the fireman to do anything. My partner's already at the head.
Yeah.
If you're doing CPR, you've got to give oxygen somehow. And she's still looking at the monitor and then looking at the patient. And I look at her and I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? Grab the bag valve mask and start doing something. And so she's like looking around. I literally put a foot on the cot, hold on to the top rail, slide open the cabinet, grab the BVM, threw it in her lap, and I was like, do you need help putting it together?
Jesus.
Like,
Somebody's dying in front of you and just blank.
Yeah. And there were so many times when she would do that. She eventually married a fireman and then got her nursing license.
Ugh, that sounds even worse.
That I think the only reason she went into EMS was so that way she could marry a fireman. Like, that's kind of how her mindset was. Like, she was just there to look pretty. She was one of those people that I fucking hated working with because she would get the fireman to do everything for her. Like, if it was lifting the patient, she would have a fireman do it. If it was, hey, I need to get this done, she'd have a fireman do it. I'm like,
how did she make it a fucking year?
Hand to God, don't know, man.
Sucking that dick.
Sucking that dick. Firemen around here, dude.
Yeah, huh?
There are a lot of young firemen, especially with the volunteer forces we have around town.
Oh no, she married professional.
Yeah. Well, I'm saying,
so that way she would have that, you know.
There were a lot of young ones, so she's going to attract someone's attention. She'll be able to talk to somebody.
Yeah, and that was the thing is everybody was like up her ass all the time because she was quote unquote so hot, and I'd be like,
with makeup,
you haven't seen her without makeup on yet.
That's why you always take a girl swimming.
Yeah. I
always thought paintballing.
Yeah, it's sad to see, and there was actually a rumor going around that her and I were, you know, hooking up.
Of course.
And I was my statement to that was always, not with your dick and him pushing, man. Like, that's not fucking happening. Sorry.
No.
I don't need them kind of problems.
That's actually where my story started.
Okay.
There was another female that went through the academy with us beside the dumb one. It was one of her friends, but during the academy time, the other one realized, okay, yeah, no, she is too dumb. And she anyways, it was me, dumb chick, really tall guy, second chick. Okay, not giving any names. Well, me, tall guy, and second chick became actually pretty good friends.
Okay.
Like, we were the only ones left after like 3-4 months. And we went ahead, like, dumb chick didn't even make it out of her on-the-job training. Like,
well,
yeah.
I mean, you let an inmate out to smoke a cigarette. Yeah, it kind of throws a kink into it.
Yeah, she didn't even make it out of her OJT, dude. Well, we go ahead and I'm outside smoking a cigarette one day, and tall guy comes out. And I'm like, what the hell are you doing out here, dude? You quit smoking. And he was like, I want to talk to you. It's like, yeah, about what? And he's like, you hear we were fucking second chick?
Really?
One more time?
News to me.
I'm like, yeah, did you hear we were fucking second chick? I'm like, well, what are you talking about? We are fucking second chick. And he's like, yeah, no, literally. Evidently, we have regular threesomes.
Whoa.
I'm like,
the devil's threesome.
Awesome.
Two horns.
I was like, the first time I've ever been accused of being in a threesome, and it's with
doing
another
the Eiffel
guy.
Tower, the wobbly
Yeah,
H,
the crossing
wobbly
swords.
H.
Crossing
Don't cross
swords.
the streams.
But I'm like, ew. Now she was like 97 pounds soaking wet, and dude,
I break a hip.
No, dude, like
you're all about that base.
I'm not making fun of people that are really skinny. I'm not. You did not see this girl. She had me by
Skeletor.
No, honestly, she had me with like more than 10 years.
Really?
And she was used to be an alcoholic.
Yeah.
Aged really bad.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah,
I love being in the middle.
Sweet woman. She really was, but not my type.
It's my shitty Skeletor impression. Sorry.
But anyways, I find out about that, and I confront her on it. I'm like, hey, what's this I hear that you, me, and tall guy are all fooling around? She's like, yeah, I heard about that too. You know, that's kind of weird, huh? And I'm like, yeah, that is kind of weird. I don't like that shit at all.
Yeah.
And she's like, yeah, I don't know who started it. Sorry. Okay, cool, whatever. I go back to work, and whatever. It's 2-3 weeks later. I'm talking to actually the same officer that got the grievance on her for patting that girl down. I was talking to her.
For the chicken.
She's like,
or chicken.
Yeah, for the chicken. And she's like,
Pussy chicken.
yeah, no.
Ugh, never again.
Yeah.
Waffle stomp.
But no, she goes, oh yeah, I know exactly where that rumor started. I'm like, yeah, where? She's like, from Second Girl.
What?
I'm like, what?
She
That's
started
exactly-
her own rumor.
And I'm like, what are you talking about? She's like, yeah, evidently she thought it would be so funny that when we were talking about all the people that are fooling around, she's like, oh my god, I can't believe nobody's ever accused Clyde and I, or Tall Guy and I, of fooling around. And I'm like,
What
that's
the fuck?
because nobody would believe it. And she's like, yeah, well, people are idiot. Why? That's
I
why I
love
said.
sucking dick.
That's
People
why
are
I said.
stupid.
I was like, well, nobody would believe that. And this woman looked at me. She's like, yeah, well, people are idiots around here. So as soon as it came out
No
of her
shit.
mouth,
Yeah.
they assumed that it was true. And I'm like,
I'm
ew.
I'm just going with this, man. People start fucking rumors out of boredom.
I don't get that
And
shit.
fucking knock it the fuck off, guys. If you guys are starting rumors, stop. Okay?
If
Thank
you didn't see it, it didn't happen.
All right. Well, it's been an hour, guys.
It has been.
So
Indeed, indeed.
shall we say farewell and all
So
that?
long, farewell.
Bye!
Oh God.
Never again.
So make sure you guys send us questions or feedback or any topics you want us to talk about. Get us a hold of us on email at 107offduty@gmail.com or 10-7offduty on Facebook and Twitter, or the twat. I'm not good at
Face
twat.
blam, twitmagram.
Yeah, something like that. Also, go check out our friends. Hey, cat. Go check out our friends Medic Element. They've got some really cool training plus awesome stickers. Use the discount code Medic18 for buy one get one free on the stickers. And if you like coffee and want to be caffeinated, go to blackriflecoffee.com and use the discount code 107 off duty for 15% off your entire order. So do that, please.
Silencer.
Yes.
Subliminal messaging.
And get a hold of us for our t-shirts, please.
Are you trying to activate me right now? Is that what's going on?
No, Silencer coffee for the Black Rifle coffee. Just like us.
I have the weirdest boner right now. Okay, bye guys.
Later.